All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about, most of this video is going to be me talking about my experience in OP-07 pre-release draft. And good news, you know, this is not going to be like my OP-06 one where I had an absolutely horrendous time. Maybe I'll link that video in the comment section below if you just want to hear me complain about OP-06. That was a bad time. That was a really bad time. But OP-07, awesome, outstanding, really good stuff. Enjoyed it, and we're going to talk about that. In most of this video, we'll be talking about that. So let me give you guys a quick layout, because you guys know I like to do more than one thing in these videos. I like to have a little bit of something for everybody. First, we'll check out my experience in OP-07. I'll show you the list I was running. I'll talk about my results and all that good stuff. And then from there, we'll segue into kind of a part 2 on the sealed draft guide for anyone who has not done their pre-release yet. Like maybe you're about to go tonight at the time you're recording this video, or maybe you're about to, you know, do one tomorrow. Whenever you have your sealed draft, I hope what I'm about to tell you in the second part of this video will really help you out, because there were some things that are really important, guys. Especially like a certain leader we're going to talk about. Bonney, S tier when it comes to draft. Absolutely S tier when it comes to draft. At least in my experience. You guys know what y'all think. And then we'll finish off the video with a quick game on the sim, and we'll talk about the deck list I'm running for film Shanks. That's right, OP-08, if that gives you any hints as to what purple got in OP-08 for film Shanks. Okay, we'll talk about that at the end of the video. All right, so you know what you're getting into? Let's do this, guys. Let's dive in. Let's have a little bit of fun. And yeah, let's start off with, first and foremost, the tournament. Okay, had an absolutely massive tournament, guys. I don't know the exact amount of players, but this is all one piece today. Sometime, at least not in the back. In the back here, I think might be Magic the Gathering or something. I have no idea. I think in the very back here, all the way back by this like exit or whatever this is Magic the Gathering players back here, I believe. But everything else you see, like this first row, second row, third row, straight one piece, guys. It was a really great turnout. I think they said something like 85 players came, and they had to split it into 2 pods. I think it was like 2 40-man pods, something like that. And it was just an awesome time. It was so much fun. Everything about it was just a really good time. I don't know how else to explain it. And of course, we had, you know, an absolute legend in the building right here. Name this Pokemon. You know, seriously though, we had Joey from Heart Pirates TCG. And look at that cool playmat he was playing on. Man, that thing is cool. For anyone who's interested in getting the playmats, I will link that in the comment section below if you're still interested. Okay, and you can't see me in the picture because I'm holding the camera up taking the picture, right? Okay, and then of course we have our lovely judge here, Mark. He's the man. He goes to a lot of the, you know, bigger tournaments and judges at those as well. Okay, excuse me. So this was the turnout. It was a great turnout. Now let's talk about the cards that I drew. So this is my deck. At the very top left here, that's a alt art jewelry Bonney, which I did not see even one game. And let me give you guys the results. And check out the mat in the background, guys. Pretty cool mat from over at Heart Pirates TCG, which you can check out at moonlighttcg.com if you want to get Joey's mat and support him. But real quick, guys, I did not see this jewelry Bonney even one game all the way up here. And I ended up going 3-2. And I was very happy with going 3-2, guys, because of how bad this draft felt. The draft itself felt very good, but I'm talking about the cards that I drew. I was only able to get 7 2K counters, which is not bad. I've gotten way worse than that. I was able to get, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. Not the worst. Again, like I can deal with that. I had 2 one cost counters here. And yeah, the only good cards I got is what you see on the screen here. I'll run through all of them and tell you each card individually. Jewelry Bonney, in 5 games, like I said, I went 3-2. I did not see Jewelry Bonney, not even one time. Scratchman of Pooh I got, but I was never really ever to play this card out, I think, except one game, but still a very solid vanilla. Luffy here, I got to play out 1 game. This one didn't feel as good as I thought it would, but I think it's just because... We'll talk about my leader choice in a second. Okay, we'll talk about my leader choice in just a second, but that probably has something to do with it. But otherwise, Luffy was still fine, and I played it out, but it is what it is, right? Sometimes you don't get what you need. I think I only saw it once or twice out of the 5 games. Maha, same idea as Scratchman of Pooh. Lucy, this card, I just never felt comfortable playing it, even with the leader I'm about to tell you about. Okay, Draco Mihawk, this card was great, but I only saw it once. Only saw it once, and that was a game that I won. Jinbei, I only had 3 targets in the entire deck. This is 40 cards if you want to count it up. But Jinbei, I only had 3 targets. 2 of the Edward Weevil cards and 1 Crocodile, as you can see all the way up here at the top right of the screen. Mihawk was great. These are all just 2K counters. Like I said, the only one that actually had extra value was the Crocodile. Jinbei was not bad. I played him out 1 game, and it played out a Crocodile, and it ended up being very strong. Okay, then at Fuza, this card was actually solid. Fuza and Dice were absolutely stellar. I think every game I saw those 2 cards by turn 4, or like by my 4 Dawn turn, I think I won those games. Then we had these are all 5 cost 6Ks with 1K counters. That's what every one of these are. Unfortunately, I never saw the Lucci at a good moment. I only saw it early when I didn't have enough cards in my trash, where it was never a great card. The Lucci was just never a great card for me, and neither was the Luffy, but it was at least a 5 cost 6K. Okay, then these are my blockers here. I had Caribou, which was an MVP for the deck that I was running, guys. We'll talk about that later. Then we had Shaka and Uruj. I never saw Uruj in 1 game. Not 1 game did I see Uruj, unfortunately. Zoro. You know, the low-cost cards are not great in draft, for those who are wondering, unless you're playing like a Blitz deck with Zoro, which I was not playing. Okay, then Karina, Chopper, and Mr. Tanaka. These were some nice low-cost blockers. Those were excellent. And then these were just kind of all filler cards down here. The 2 Spandams, I don't think I played them once. I think I played a Spandam 1 time, and it wasn't really for the on-play to -2. Like, you still have to do it. It is an on-play. It's not a you may. But at the same time, the card didn't really do it. It was just a 3 cost 4K, okay? And then Khalifa was just a 4 cost 5K. This card was fine, but it didn't really help me. Blue Jam was actually pretty good. 1 game that I had it down, it actually did pretty well for me. And then the promo Eustace Kid was excellent as well. So my matchups were as follows. Started off going 2-0 against 2 Yamatos. I loved that matchup. Then I played against Bonney twice in a row, lost both of those matchups, and it was the leader that was the primary problem. Actually, I will explain those more in just a second. And then the 5th game, I went against a Katakuri. That was just a good game. It came down to it. Now, what leader was I playing? What leader was I playing, guys? Red, yellow, Sabo. You guys know I can't be normal, okay? I can't just be normal. And I have to say, guys, I think that this draft that you see right here, I think this is awful. I don't think this is a good draft. I had no good SRs. Like I said, my only decent SR was Bonney. Did not see it once the entire night. Never saw it. Never saw it. Shouldn't even have sleeved it. Like, I just never even saw it. Jinbei I saw, but that card was only good if I had, you know, the Weevils or the Crocodile in hand. And that only happened 1 game where I actually got to get a double value, and that was against one of the Yamatos, and I won that game. But everything else you see on here, these are just vanilla cards. There is no like crazy wow card in here that can just win me a game. There's nothing like a dragon in here. There was no Stussy in my list, or you know, in my cards. There was no Sabo. 8 cost Secret Sabo. Guess what? One of the Bonnies I played against, we were having a pretty solid game, and then I just couldn't. You know, I was starting to get a little bit of space on the board where I thought I was gonna be able to start punching through and start, because his hand was so low. He top decks a Sabo, and he clears my board. I think I had a Mr. Tanaka on the board, or no, it might have been a Chopper. It was a Tanaka or a Chopper or something like that, and then it was a Shaka. So he goes, okay, we'll pop both of them. And I'm like, okay, well, now the game's over. Because I was looping non-stop, guys. Like, Sabo in Sealed is actually just insane. If I had just 1 rush card, if I had just a single rush card, hey, like Dragon, I know that's an SR, but if I had Dragon with this leader and I could keep going that way, that would have changed everything. Let me just say it right now. That would have changed everything. But I didn't. It is what it is. You know, that's the thing about Sealed. You have to work with what you got. And I just feel like, I mean, you guys tell me what y'all think. Did y'all wish y'all had a hand like this? Because I can tell you one thing right now. I wish I'd popped open a Sabo. I wish I'd popped open an Ace. I wish I'd popped open a Dragon. I wish I'd popped open a Boa Hancock. I'm glad I mentioned that. The other game that I lost was against another Jory Bonney. Excuse me. And he played out the Boa Hancock. Okay, well, that card stuck the entire game. Every time I swung into it for 8 or 10, he 1K'd or 2K countered out. 2K plus 1K, or played a blocker the following turn. It just felt horrible. And one thing I will say is, like, that game I probably could have won looking back if I'd been more aggressive and attacked at face instead of trying to worry about the Boa Hancock. But I don't know. It's hard to say, guys. And that's something you have to pick and choose whenever you're playing the game. Oh, let me move my head real quick so you guys can see So y'all can see down here. As far as my events go, I had a Demonic Aura 9 Sword Style Asura Demon 9 Flash or whatever it is down here. And that actually did win me a game, believe it or not. This card right here, it did win me a game against one of the Yamatos. And then these two 1-cost cards right here, those were just 1-cost, I think 2Ks or something like that, and potential 3Ks, something like that. Let me get my face back on. Okay, so other than that, though, it was pretty straightforward. I just didn't think this was a great draft because I didn't pull any crazy SRs or secrets. And when it comes to draft, that's really what can win you games, right? Like that's what can really like win you something big. For example, when I was playing in OP-05, I believe it was OP-04 or 5. I can't even remember now. I think it was OP-05. No, it had to be 4. I believe it was 4. And for OP-04. I got out Kaido. Yeah, I gotta look that up right now. I'm sorry, guys. We gotta look up. I'm pretty sure that was OP-04. Sorry, guys. We do. It is relevant. It is relevant to the story. Don't worry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not just taking you on a wild goose hunt here. It was OP-04. I thought so. Okay. So in OP-04, I was able to win a pre-release, like at first place and everything with a pre-release because I drew a Kaido. You know what I'm saying? I got Kaido, and it ended up, I'm like stuttering here, it ended up winning me a game. The final game where my opponent dropped the 8-cost Luffy and they had a 3-cost something or other down, and I was like, okay, Kaido, bounce both of those back to your hand, and now I've got a 10-cost 12K on the board. You know what I mean? It's cards like that that help you push over the threshold to win games. Well, as you can see in this deck, and y'all tell me if I missed something just by what you see on the screen here, I did not see anything like that. Like, as you can see, like these cards at the top, they were solid if you got them. I only got Mihawk the one game, why is it not? There it goes. I only saw this Mihawk one time, right? And I won that game. It was against Katakuri. Felt good. Played it right on curve. And now I've got an 8-cost 10K battling for board every single turn. Now, one thing about playing Sabo is these two cards right here, the Fuza and Dice, these were like MVPs. Because what I could do with them was play them out with Sabo, or play them out, right? Attach one Dawn with Sabo, push it back to the top of my life, and then I could give my Shaka or Caribou, or any of these blockers, but these were the best ones, Shaka and Caribou, plus 2,000 power for the turn. And one turn I had it going with Eustace Kid, where he was an 8K that they had to swing into. It's like having a 5-cost, 8-cost Eustace Kid, you know what I mean? Uruj, like I said, I didn't see one time. It was so frustrating. The same thing with Jory Bonney, not once. And I don't mean like, oh, I had to counter out with it that game. No, I mean, I never saw the cards one time. What are the odds of that? I have no idea. But it was very unfortunate. But theoretically, what I was trying to do with this deck was, you know, and with this leader, with Sabo, was push these cards back to my life, gain a life in the process, and now give one of my blockers plus 2,000 power so I can block out effectively on my turn, and then always eat up the board with my characters and my leader, and then always push the leader or the character I swung with to the top of my life and play out a new blocker for the turn, and then rinse and repeat. It became like an infinite cycle, and it is nice, guys. It was really nice, but it won't work if you don't have a 4-cost or 5K blocker that actually gets value from the plus 2,000, because turning Karina into from a 0 power to a 2,000 power blocker, that doesn't do anything for you. You have to have the 5,000 power blockers or the 6,000 power blockers, because then they come 7,000 or 8,000 power blockers, which is massive, which is absolutely massive. Okay, other than that, you know, that was pretty much my experience. So I went 3-2, like I said. I started off 2-0, played against 2 Yamatos. I loved that as Sabo. They kept swinging at me with double strike. I'm like, sure, I'll draw some cards, and then I'll play those cards, and then I'll play out the cards and put them back into my life. So now your double attack basically gets negated on your leader, and you're a 4-life leader, so I can just keep whittling you down over the game, creating a constant loop between my blockers and all that, and it feels incredible. It feels absolutely incredible. Then I lost 2 straight to Bonney. Bonney is an issue, guys. That leader is so strong. And let me say this. I still think I could have won if, two reasons. Number one, if I had been a little more aggressive, like maybe not even try to swing into the board. I don't know. Like maybe just keep going face and just take your chances that way, because they're going to tap down a character every single turn, guys. It's just never going to stop. Every single turn, they're going to leave one Dawn open. It's probably... I don't know how else to say it. It's just the easiest leader to play for draft right now. You just always leave one Dawn open and play around that, because now you always get to turn off one of their attacks. And then they can attack another board. They're a 5-life leader anyway, so they're going to have time to take over the board and win that way, and slowly progress their board over the course of the game. So that is an incredible leader. So kind of segueing into the part 2 of this video, Jewelry Bonney is an absolute juggernaut in the sealed, in the pre-release and sealed. So, you know, and I did say that leader's good. I said, yeah, I think leader's going to be really solid. But I'll tell you what, man, for what I was doing, that was the worst case scenario. Like, because I need to get my I need to get my 2 attacks in every single turn with my strategy, or it doesn't quite pan out the way I want it to. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's everything else I think is pretty much the same from what I already said in OP-07's in my sealed draft guide, which I'll have posted down in the comment section below. Everything else is pretty much the exact same. Nothing else changed. As far as like my breakdown goes, I had seven 2K counters. I'm not upset with that because I've had worse. In OP-06 last pre-release, I only got 3 2K counters. Or excuse me, it might have been 4. But either way, that was not enough. Like, that felt horrible, and that was atrociously bad. Blockers, I got 3. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blockers is not bad, but I think in an ideal world, you want around 8 blockers and you want around 8 2K counters, like just like minimum. You know what I mean? And that's not bad. I guess technically Eustace Kid is sort of like a blocker, and the Eustace Kid is not bad against Jewelry Bonney. Excuse me, because you just don't swing with him first. You swing with something else first, and then if they want to tap him down, sure, great. Thank you for, you know, enabling his effect, because that's what I need anyway. These, you know, of course, all the vanilla cards were incredible. Like I said, Dice was incredible. Apu and Maha were pretty good, and I should have been more aggressively dropping them in in 2 of my games. I think against Bonney, hear me out, guys. Against Bonney, I think what I should have done at one point is literally just not attack for 1 whole turn and just go as wide as I can. Just like keep playing characters, don't swing 1 time, go as wide as I can, and keep gaining a life every turn, but play out these little 3 and 4 cost characters and do it that way. You know what I mean? Then I can get a lot of attacks through if I need to. And I can hide behind my blocker still, because I can still gain life without swinging, right? Because it's an activate main. So something to consider. Now, real quick, before I go any further, talking about this, big shout out to this guy, Sonic Belt, one of the people in my YouTube comments, because he's the one who said 4 days ago when I did the video for One Piece TCG Comprehensive Sealed Draft Guide for OP-07. Okay, check this out, guys. I scroll down here. You guys see I like a lot of y'all's comments. I always try to respond as fast as I can, you know, and all that stuff. But check this out. He goes, I'm heavily considering bringing Red Yellow Sabo to my pre-release. Being able to heal every turn and buff another character could be really strong. Bro, Sonic, you're 100% right. I said I like this idea a lot because, you know, I kind of got sidetracked there, guys. I'm sorry. So, like I was saying, I think Red Yellow Sabo is an incredible pick. And great call by Sonic there. Incredible call. And I'll say this. One thing that could have also helped me win the games I didn't win is if I had gotten better pulls in my draft. That part you can't control. There are other ways to win too, of course. I'm not trying to blame it all on that. But, like I said, against the second game of Jewelry Bonney I played against, guy drops a 8-cost Secret Sabo on me and pops both my blockers. I believe it was an Urouge. Or excuse me, a Shaka. It was a Shaka and a Chopper, I think he popped. Where it's like, oh, okay. You know, and now not only do I not have blockers, but, you know, we were trying to build our board up and everything, and that is just one of those force multipliers. You know, as far as the game goes, that's like the craziest force multiplier you can ask for in sealed draft. I'm going to play 1 card, and you're going to lose 2 cards. And now I have an 8-cost 9K. He already had other cards on the board as well because he was playing smart. He was a good player, you know what I mean? And all that stuff, but you know, it was very frustrating. It's like, wow, that was one of those issues where it's like, okay, I can't really play around that. Number one, because I don't know you have it, right? Because it's just a sealed. But second, I don't have anything to compete with you. And like I said, I didn't draw Draco Mihawk, Urouge, or Bonney I only played Mihawk in 1 game because I only got it in 1 game. Urouge and Bonney, they must have just been at the bottom of my deck every game. So horrible feeling. But yeah. Red Yellow Sabo, I definitely recommend, but against Jewelry Bonney, it is a tough matchup. I'm going to tell you that right now, and the only way I would recommend going against, you know, or choosing Red Yellow Sabo into this current meta, you know, with a lot of people going Jewelry Bonney, is maybe only do that if you pulled some type of extremely solid secret rare or something like that. You know what I mean? Like if you pulled like Dragon... Or not secret rare, excuse me. Well, secret or super rare. If you pulled like a Dragon, a Sabo, an Ace, or the first game that I lost against Jewelry Bonney, he dropped a 6 cost 8K Boa Hancock SR. That was pretty nice because now I can't do my double attack anyway. You know what I mean? Which that wasn't too bad because they were already running Bonney. But it's like, okay, now you have a 6 cost 8K on the board. You lock down one of my attacks. And he followed that up with a Draco Mihawk a few turns later, where it was like, oh, man, I like that Draco Mihawk you have there. I have one as well. If only I could find mine. You know, it's so annoying. But it happens, right? It happens. So yeah, I do recommend playing Red Yellow Sabo, but only if you have some way to get around what Bonney's doing. So in other words, and let me say this too, building very low to the ground, like a bunch of 4 and 5 cost characters, is what's going to allow you to do what I'm saying. There's pretty much no other way to do it. Because what you're going to need to do is, you know, how do I say this? You need to play out 2 characters. Again, this is against Jewelry Bonney, strategy against Jewelry Bonney. Play out 2, like a 4 cost and a 5 cost character. Actually, it probably needs to be, see, that's what makes it so hard. Play out like a 3 cost and a 4K character, attach 1 Dawn to one of them, push 1 to the top, so you get a character on the board for the turn, buff it, and then wait for next turn. Take the hit that you just put back in your life and go about it that way. That's probably the only way you can go about it. And like I said, the more bigger characters you get, like Mihawk and, you know, like I said, any of these 6 cost 8Ks, any of these 6 cost 7Ks, take the time to establish those first, and I don't even think I would swing if I were you. Like, don't even swing. Just keep gaining life every turn while dropping these big bodies, and that's going to be your best bet, at least in my opinion. Otherwise, just go Jewelry Bonney. If you're not feeling spicy, if you're not trying to play something off meta, you know, so if you're like me and you can never do what's normal, just play Jewelry Bonney, because that leader is just insane, guys. It's just absolutely busted when it comes to sealed. So, really, yeah, when it comes to, like, pre-releases and sealed. Good stuff. Okay, that's about it. Oh, now we are going to do, you know, quick little, this isn't really a market watch, but I need to at least explain to some of the newer players out there, guys. I forgot to mention this in my you know, my walkthrough. Like, all right, here's what we're going to do today. I forgot to mention that. But, guys, be smart. I mean, hey, it's your money. Do whatever you want with it. Excuse me, but these pre-sale prices you need to stay away from. Stay far, far away from these pre-sale prices. Do not... I mean, do what you want to. I'm not going to say do not do anything. Do what you want to. But I would recommend not buying anything in the first week or two and let the prices go down. Here's the problem. If you buy at these pre-sale prices, it's going to take them longer to go down. And I get it. People are like, yeah, but I want to play in the next tournament. I want to win the next tournament. I want to be able to compete. I hear what you're saying, but it's almost like you're hurting all of us in the process. Because when people buy these cards for this super high, outrageous prices that they're at right now, the sellers keep putting them on for that. Why wouldn't they? They're selling. You know what I mean? That's just common sense. I expect every one of these cards to go down. Excuse me. Unless some brand new broken deck pops out in the format that we haven't foreseen yet, which I doubt. With Red Purple Law in the format, I think we know how things are going to go. It's all going to be based around that. Decks that can compete with Red Purple Law, or the deck that is Red Purple Law. That's basically what the format has become. So, like, I expect all of these cards to go down in price. Some might go up, but here's the thing. If we all hold back on the first, like, week or two of buying these cards for, you know, instead of buying, like, these crazy pre-sale prices, if we all hold back, the prices should naturally go down. I can't promise they will. I'm not like some market prophet, okay? But I'm telling you right now, guys, that's typically how it works. And I get it. I see all these brand new cards. I want them too, guys. I want them too. But I didn't even buy a box yesterday. I didn't even buy a box. I'm like, you know what? We'll see what happens in the long run. I'm going to wait for these all to go down, and I'll just buy my cards. You know, I'll play in some tournaments, get packs that way, just like participation packs and things like that. If they're even available. That's a whole nother issue. You know, I'll try and get cards through that way and through store credit and whatnot. But other than that, I'm going to wait for these prices to go down so I can buy them at a reasonable price. Because I told you guys, I think there is a reasonable price for each rarity that I'm not going to go into this video. But but just straight up, guys, these are not them. Now, the alt arts I don't care about. You guys know I don't care about that. But $40 for secret rares, guys. Oh, my goodness gracious. Here we go again, right? $30 for this one. Let me go to the next page. And then, like you see that Stussy, you know, okay. Number one, Stussy is probably only going to be a 2-of in any black deck that she's in. This is not really a 4-of card. Like Gecko Moria is a 4-of card. Stussy, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's not restricted. You can play her as a 4-of, but I think the better players out there know what I'm talking about. This is not a card that you just chain back to back, because you can't even do that, first of all, unless you have 1-cost characters to play with it. And second of all, if they played a Sabo on their turn, Well, now you're just out of luck anyway, right? There's no reason to even do it. Sanji is a, you know, this card is probably going to stay fairly high in price. I mean, I would predict that this card will probably sit around. This will probably be like the Hiyori of this set. I feel like where, like, you know, Hiyori just stayed at 15 bucks and kind of went up and down, it stayed around 15. Sanji will probably do that. But yeah, guys, I have to recommend, do what you want with your money. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. But what I'm going to be doing, I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing. I will be waiting for about 3 weeks to even touch the market. I'm waiting 3 weeks because I want to see these prices go way down. And the less sales they make up front, the faster these sales go down. At least that's been my experience. That's what I think is going to happen. Right, guys, that's it for that. I just want to do a quick... This isn't really a Market Watch video. I still have a Market Watch video coming out in about 2 weeks. But, you know, again, I just have to at least mention this to the newer players. If you see these prices and you think like, wow, why is it so high? Why are the prices so expensive? You're right. They are too expensive. And they usually settle after about 2 to 3 weeks. They simmer down. Okay? So, all right. Just give you guys a quick heads up there. Okay. Now, a quick game on the sim. We'll wrap this video up. Let me move my face cam here. There we go. We got a fun one here. Volume's off. Speed is on 2x. We're good to go. And play. All right, so you see it, guys. We got a quick little game here. It's actually not quick. It looks like it's about a 15-minute game. Ah, there goes my mouse cord again. There we go. Okay, so we got a quick, or not so quick, little game of green-yellow Yamato versus Shanks. Shanks has struggled since he came into the game. The leader effect is not anything to talk about. Now, notice I did take my first 2 hits, or my first hit from Yamato, which was a double attack. I'm okay with that. I'd rather establish things on the board and just keep aggression going that way. He is doing a full setup here, plays out Yamato, has Otama down. He did a search, you know, the first turn, and now he's swinging for 6. We're going to 2K counter out of that, obviously. But notice what card I have in my hand right now, guys. I have 2 of them. Black Maria. Black Maria actually makes Shanks' leader effect free. That's the best way I can explain it. So I swing 5 in life, he takes. I swing 7 in life, he takes. And then I pop his what's her name, Yamato, with my 5-cost Ragnaraku, or whatever the technical name is for it. The Yamato follows up with a Momonosuke search here. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I forget to mouse over that area to show what it actually is. And then they're going to tap down the Hiyori and the Otama to draw 2 cards. Then they're going to play out the Momonosuke, push Otama back to life. This is the new Fortress-style Yamato, for those who are not aware. It is a Land of Wano-style deck that just has tons and tons of card draw, has blockers, has life gain, and the leader can just double attack all game. Okay, so I'm going to swing 7 into 6 there. It gives me a 2K counter. I'm going to play out my Guild Tesoro, or Guild Tessero, however you say that. That card is actually a beast. Think about what it does, guys. Think about what Guild Tessero does. Dawn minus 1, or excuse me, is it Dawn minus 2? It's either Dawn minus 1 or Dawn minus 2. Let me see if I can see it from here. I can't really see it from here, unfortunately. But when you use his effect, it's a draw 2. It's a draw 2 effect. So just absolutely incredible. So here we go. He's just playing out Momonosuke. He is just going crazy. Hiyori's draw a card, play out 5 costs or less, swing 6 into 5 here. I'm going to try and save this because I want to keep my pressure up. Okay, and here we go. Let's see what I do. I'm going to try and pause it when we get to the Guild Tesoro. Okay, so the effect, it's a when attacking. It's a 5-cost 6K, no counter, but it is a film card. When attacking, Dawn minus 2, draw 2 cards. Okay, so that is massive, right? Like, that is actually huge. That drawing 2 cards, notice I have Vinsmoke Rages in my hand too. Well, those go pretty well with Guild Tessero. That's basically a draw 4, right? That is a draw 4 whenever I need to do it. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do here because I want this to be just right. I want to get this done the right way. I need to use my Shanks ability first, return 3 Dawn to buff all of my filmed characters plus 2,000 for the turn. 7 into life. That's an ugly number, right? He's going to give me the blocker there with the 2K counter. I'm going to play out Reiju to draw 2 cards. I'm going to swing Guild Tesoro, use effect, you know, returning 2 more Dawn, and draw 2 more cards. Guys, that was a lot of card draw. So here we go. I'm going to swing for 7 into face here. He takes it, and now it's my opponent's turn. And I've got a decent hand. It's actually not crazy, but I do have 2 2K counters in hand and then 4 1K counters if he tries something crazy here. Instead, he goes for board development, playing out the Yamato, 5 into 5. You can't let him have that one, guys. You can't let him have that because that is a double strike banish. With the last Dawn, he taps down his Momonosuke's to draw 2, and he's going to swing 5. All right. So this game is actually a lot closer than it seems because I'm about to draw more cards, guys. Like, right, that's what we're going for here. So I'm going to play out what's her name? Black Maria. I'm going to return 3 cards here, and then I'm going to play out Reiju to draw 2. I'm going to return 3 Dawn with my... Well, first I'm going to swing 7. Swing 7 into the Yamato. Everything I do this turn is going into that Yamato. It's going to be swing 7, swing 8, like that. I'm not letting that Yamato survive. Swing 8 in the face, use the effect, return 2 Dawn. Swing 5, now I can start cleaning up these Momonosuke's. Yep, he's not going to defend those. I return 5 Dawn with my Black Maria, and none of it goes away because my opponent is on 10 Dawn, and now I'm only on 8 Dawn. So, like, that was... Or 7, excuse me, I'm only on 7 Dawn. So that was really nice. That's where Black Maria shines. And Black Maria is probably the card that will take Shanks to another tier, but it's still... I'm not saying this deck is super competitive, guys. And hopefully y'all understand that. Okay, swing 5 there. I'm going to defend that, obviously. Hopefully y'all understand that when I'm making these guides, I'm not trying to say that like every deck that I put out is competitive. I'm just trying to show you the best way to play each one of these decks. So he swings 9 into my 6 Tesoro. I 2K counter out of that because I'm going to draw 2 more cards with Gil Tesoro this turn, right? And this new Yamato build is serious, guys. Look, they gain life with Yamato. They gain life with Momonosuke's. And these cards they're recurring back are 2K counters with on-play effects. So they're absolutely massive. Okay, so right here I'm considering popping the Momonosuke, return 1 Dawn to do it. Okay, no problem. And now I'm going to swing for... I think I'm going to use the effect first. Yep. So use the effect there. Black Maria to pull all my Dawn back. Now I'm back up to 10 after doing all that stuff. And I think I'm going to go 6 and then a bunch of 7s and 8s, I think is what it'll end up being. Or it might be 2 6s and a 7 and 8 or something like that. Okay, so he countered out there. 6 more. I'm trying to get all the 2K counters out of my opponent's hand. And yeah, that's basically where we're going. So this is a 9. I might swing 9 into the Yamato. I don't remember. I literally just can't remember what I do this turn. Okay, swing 7. Yep. Let's see what he does here. He'll probably take this one, but actually he might not because I have a 7 and an 8K coming through. So I'll swing this first to draw 2 just to see what I get. Okay, no 2K counters. Excuse me. No 2K counters is kind of scary. I'm not going to lie. And I don't know what's in my opponent's hand. If they have a Hody Jones, okay, I don't know who this person is, obviously, but if I'm the Yamato player, I feel like a Hody Jones here could be disgusting. But then again, that puts him, you know, in danger of losing the following turn. So he set his top life, or his last life to that with the Hiyori a turn prior. So he knew what he was doing there. That was well done. You know, this game is still completely even. Even though he's at 1 life, I'm at 3. That's 1 leader attack away from dropping me down to 1 life. So this is a very, very even game. And one thing I will say is, like, going forward to fix the deck, I think I need to include more blockers. I think I only have 1 or 2 blockers. We'll check at the end of the video. I think I need Uta in the list, if I'm not already running it. Because, like, I think I dropped the Queens because I'm running the Gil Tesoros, and maybe, I don't know, Gil Tesoro's pretty good, but maybe I'll go down to 2 Gil Tesoros, and then I'll go up to 4 Queens or something like that. We'll look at the deck list after this. So I give him a double 2K right there to save my Gil Tesoro, or at least try to save him, right? Because the card is just that strong. Douglas Bullet is a little bit ambitious, I'll say that much right now. I don't know if that card should go in this particular list. I don't know. I never could get it to work. He's going to swing 8 into 6. I literally cannot counter out of it. If I could, I absolutely would. But he gets it. 5 into 5, I can get out of that one pretty easily. Okay, there's one of the blockers. I was going to say, I know I at least put some blockers in here. I put a Useless Captain Kidd in. But, you know, when I have Black Maria already down, it's not as good anymore. But it's still better than nothing with the leader effect, right? So swing 6. I'm trying to get every single 2K counter out of my opponent's hand. That's what we're going for here. I probably could have gone more aggressively for game here. Hang on 1 second. Okay, but he had that. Okay, so right here, I can swing 7 at leader. This will get everything out of his hand. Okay, yep, or that, and here's what I do. So pause. So what I do right here is I return 3 Dawn, use leader effect to buff my Ein by plus 2,000. They're at 7 now, and then I'm going to attach 6 more and swing for 13. Okay? And there's no way he can get out of that with only 4 cards, because even if they were all 2K counters, that would only put him at 13, and he has to go above my attack to get out of it, right? So really good stuff there. So that was a fun little game, right? That was a fun game. Let me move my head back here, drop this down, and we'll bust this out. What is this? Okay. So here's what we were running, guys. I was running 4 Utas. I just never saw them. That was unfortunate. I got the 4 Utas. I got the 4 Captain Kids. I just didn't see them, which was really unfortunate. It would be nice to fit a smaller blocker in here. Let me search up real quick. And I'll talk while it's searching up. It'd be nice to have a really small blocker in here maybe like a Shiki. Maybe Shiki would have been the way to go. Let me see something real quick, guys. Especially if he's film searchable. Oh, man. Yeah, so this is what I should have gone for, one, like something to do with blocking. Even if I just removed 2 cards in here, like the 2 Douglas Bullets, just to fit these 2 Shikis in. Because remember, guys, this is a film card, and what Shanks does, for those who are not aware, Dawn -3, your film-type characters gain plus 2,000 power during this turn. So this Shiki right here is actually like a 3,000 power card, right, if you use the leader effect. So attach 2, and you can swing with it if you need to later in the game. I am running the other Shikis, though, the younger version of Shiki or whatever that is, because this is actually a very specifically designed card, however you want to say that, because hear me out. So it's a 2-cost, 3,000 power card with a 2k counter, but then the trigger's Dawn -1 to play this card. So if you get this off your life, you're playing it, and then if you buff it with your leader, well, now he's at 5,000. It's at a very specific amount, and they did that with another card as well. I want to show you guys. There's another film card as well. It's a 2-cost, 3k. Well, not this guy. This card's just an anomaly. The stats are not supposed to be that good, because typically speaking, for those who are not aware, with a 2-cost blocker, it is almost always a 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter blocker. For example, like this. Most blockers in the game look like this that are 2-cost. They're always a 2-cost, 2k, or 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter with blocker. Here's another one from Impel Down. So Impel Down has one, Animal, Water, whatever has one, and pretty much you can find one from every single color that has one, guys. But this card is just an anomaly. However, there was a card called Anne that was built for film that was a 2-cost, 3,000 power, no counter. You see how they balanced that? Instead of having the 1k counter on the side, they gave it plus 1,000 power to its power, right, to its base power, and took away the counter in replacement of it. And that's why this card is an anomaly. It's overstated for what it's doing. But, you know, since it's only a 2-cost card, that's 3,000 power, I think, you know, I'm not saying it's a card like, oh, you have to run it. I'm just saying they kind of fixed the game since then. This was all the way back in OP-01. But this Anne right here, guys, this was built for Shanks. It's a 2-cost, 3k blocker to play down early if you need to use it. But later in the game, you drop 3 Dawn with Shanks' effect, and now you're swinging for 5 with this card, right? Just with no Dawn investment. You just had to use the leader effect. So very solid card, and it's made well for film. But unfortunately, I just think it's a little too slow and weak for what we're trying to do now. I'd rather just have, you know, where was it? Where is it? Oh, Shiki right here. Oh, I already had it up here. I don't know why I did that. But this Shiki card is very specifically made for film and with the Shanks leader in mind. It's from OP-02. I'm not saying it was in the same ST deck as Shanks. I'm just saying that in general, like generally speaking, this Shiki card, I believe, was built with this leader in mind for its effect. Okay, the 4 Udas are just really solid. This is from ST-05. This is obviously, you know, these are from the same set. These were made to do things, to tap down stuff, defend in that way. And then if you can somehow defend this character, you know, on the crackback, if you do the leader effect, you're swinging in for like, you know, 7 with this card alone. So good stuff there. As far as everything else is pretty much film. Now this is running the Douglas Bullet, the uncommon from all the way back in OP-02. 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter, film searchable Douglas Bullet. On play, Dawn -1, rest of 4 or less. This card I actually like better than this Douglas Bullet. I get what this Douglas Bullet does, and I think it's even recently seen a price jump for because I think people are running it in green-purple Doflamingo. Well, in Doflamingo, this card works out just fine. It's an 8-cost, 10,000 power card, and guess what? At the end of every turn, you're unresting 2 Dawn. You're setting 2 Dawn as active. So you're going to be able to counter out of whatever you need to and still survive, and then on the crackback, you're going to lock things down under your birdcage with Douglas Bullet's effect. But in this list, it's a little too slow for what we're trying to do. I think if we want to make this list like the most optimal and as strong as we can make it, it needs to be a little lower to the ground. And I actually think that this card is probably, this Zephyr here, is probably the biggest card we should run. This is a Film Navy type card. 7 cost, 7,000 power. On play, Dawn -1. Nullify all abilities from up to one of your opponent's characters this turn. Then, if that character has 5,000 power or less, KO it. So, yeah, you know, you're just locking down, you know, so in other words, like Borsalino, his effect, that he cannot be KO'd, that is his effect. So with Zephyr, and plus 1,000 power. So if you play out Zephyr, it will nullify the plus 1,000 and blocker and pop their Borsalino. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this card is very strong, but I don't see it as being much more than a 2 of, because it is kind of it's kind of more of a techie card, like it's more of a tech style card, but still very, very solid. Backrat, I just wanted this as just a very cheap body to play out that can eventually be a 3-cost 7K with the leader effect. Same idea with Bins here. And yeah, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I'm running 4 Ragnaroks because I think this card is just good. Popping an 8 or less, that's going to get you around the green, Eustace Kids, the 8-cost Katakuris, 8-cost Gecko Morius, things like that. You're going to be able to pop those very easily and just go about your day, go about your business. And then everything else I think should be pretty low to the ground. I might revisit this list in the future, especially if they print more purple film cards, because there are some film cards, but as you can see, there's actually not that many, because this leader came out all the way back in ST05. Like, this is one of the OG starter decks. Like there was like, what was it? 1 through 4 was the original starter decks. This is number 5. Number 6 was when they introduced black into the game with Sakazuki, and then I forget after that, but you guys get my point. This is one of the very, very first starter decks here, And it's still, like, most of these cards come from that. Look at this, ST05, ST05. Even these events are ST05. Ein, Ann, Uda, Kurt, Karina, all of these guys. Every single one of these up to, let's see if we can find one that's not ST0. Yeah, I don't know if there are any, guys. Shiki's OP-02, Douglas Bull. Okay, so these top ones. This is a promo Uda, which is very interesting. It's a 5-cost 6K, no counter, but on play, add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. I've always thought this card's pretty good, but it might be kind of pricey now, because it is a promo. I'm not sure. This came out in OP-06. Finally, another film card, but I don't think it's even that great. 2-cost 3K, 1K counter. On play, Dawn -1 rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters that cost 2 or less. That's just not really what we're going for. Z is good. This was a good addition, and so is Shiki. I think Zephyr and Shiki were actually very solid additions. And this is a 5-cost 7K, so that's really not that bad if you're going for more of the vanilla, cheap, low-to-the-ground, big stuff to swing over. This was out in OP-02 as well. This Uda's just not a big fan of this Uda. That's all I'm going to say. It's not bad. I'm just not a huge fan of it. And then we talked about these two, the Douglas Bolt and the Shiki. Now, this Guild Tesoro from OP-06 is interesting because it's a 5-cost 6K, 1K counter, and then Dawn -1, he's drawing 2 cards, just like his other version, right? But he's drawing them from your trash. It says add up, okay, if your leader has the film type, add 2 cost 4 or lower film type characters from your trash to your hand. So that can grab back your Shikis, right? That can grab back Shiki. It can grab back your Buena Fiesta. This is a top 5 searcher, by the way, which is very nice. But you can also get that back with Guild Tesoro, the one from OP-06. So hopefully this leader sees some more support in the near future. How weird is it? The best support that this leader Shanks got is a 5-cost Eustace Kid from OP-05, an OP-06 Vinsmoke Reiju, and a Black Maria from OP-08. Like, that is the best support this leader got. It's not film. It's from totally different archetypes. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. And one more thing I do want to mention is Scarlet is just like Shiki, where it's like this 2-cost, 3,000 power, 1K counter card. Trigger, play this card, and it's at the 3,000 power threshold where you can just start swinging with this when you do your leader effect. Okay. I didn't talk about this Zephyr. I will mention something about him real quick because he's not horrible. He's a 7-cost, 8,000 power character. If this character battles with a strike attribute character, this character gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. So you can attack into a strike attribute character, and you're basically KOing that thing because he is going to be swinging for 11. Sorry, guys, if I just spit everywhere. And then he also has activate main and to give him another plus 2,000 more. You know what I mean? This, Dawn -1 plus 2,000 more once per turn. So this guy's kind of a beater, but you guys know how the game is right now. If the card does not do something on play, then it's almost unusable. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's literally unusable, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. There's just so much removal in the format. There's so many things going around. And these big cost cards, like if it's a low cost card that doesn't do much when it comes into play, then you might be able to play around it. But these bigger cards where it's a 7-cost card, that's your whole turn. Right? That's basically your whole turn. And if you don't have something to go along with that, you're going to be in deep, deep trouble. All right, that's it, guys. We did a little mini breakdown of Shanks, I guess. This video actually lasted a lot longer than I thought it would. But yeah, you guys tell me what y'all think about Shanks in the comment section below. Is there no hope for him, or is something coming up on the horizon? What does Shanks need? What does this purple ST05 film Shanks need to go to the next level? Or do you think he's kind of getting the ST06 Sakazuki treatment where it's like, let's just forget about him and print a new leader, in the place of him? Because sometimes I think that's kind of what red purple film Uda was. Because now you have the red film cards and the purple film cards. I almost feel like they just totally left this guy out to dry. We'll have to see what they do in the future. I'm not saying they did that, But that's how it feels like with this leader, and that's how it feels like with Sakazuki, the ST06 Sakazuki. Not the blue-black one, the mono-black one. All right, that's it. That's enough. I'm done. Okay, here we go, guys. Big shout out to the VV Pirates playmat supporters. Thank you to everybody. I had some, going to my locals last night. Had a few more people who wanted to pick up the mat. Big shout out to Kenneth, Brian, and Dominic. You guys are awesome. Really, thank you guys so much for helping out, supporting me, supporting local. And then I got a few more names down here at the bottom. We got Ephraim, Tim, Jose, Lloyd, and Dark Reaper. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully y'all's mats. I'll have y'all's mats out on Monday. Actually, I think some of them I already sent out, but I know some of the guys that put in orders like closer towards the weekend. Monday is going to be my main day I ship these out just because it just lines up with my schedule. Okay, so big shout out to you guys. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. And let me move this. This mat, guys, it looks so good in person. I think I already said I linked down in the comment section below the how to get this mat if you're interested. But man, it looks good in the picture, but guys, it looks way better in person. So good stuff there. And then last but not least, my patrons, the VV Pirates patron page. I love that triple P alliteration gets me every time, guys. I love it. But big shout out to all you guys. Thank y'all for helping me out, going above and beyond, helping me out in the ways y'all do. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. Please do not hesitate to put down any comments, questions, suggestions down there in the comment section below. Tell me what y'all's thoughts were. Tell me how you guys did for y'all's for y'all's pre-release if you already did yours, or if you did not already do your pre-release and it's like tonight or tomorrow night or something coming up soon. Guys, hopefully my little section in the middle there is going to help you out. I'm just trying to warn y'all, Bonney is a beast, guys. Bonney is an absolute beast, especially if you pull something like an Uruj or like a Basil Hawkins. It's just absolutely insane. But yeah, all right, that's enough of that. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, peace.